Now I will demonstrate my Azure portal. You can easily access the same Azure portal if you have an active Azure subscription, and it's quite easy to remember the link. It's portal.azure.com. So what we have on this portal, let's try to create a new website for our application. I will click New. I will choose Web and Mobile, and here I will choose Website. Now I need to configure some values for my website. The first one, I need to create a unique URL, and it will be a subdomain of azurewebsites.net. I will zoom it a little bit. So let's say something like Eboico demo, something like this. Yeah. So this URL is available. Okay. And what we need to do right now, we can reuse already existing hosting plan, or we can create a new one. Let's create a new one, and after that I will explain what we are creating and why do we need it. The first stuff is pricing tier. I will click on View All, and when we choose our pricing tier, we have three pricing tiers in standard category. We have three basic pricing plans, and also we have free and shared. Inside each pricing plan on the portal, you will see like a short list of resources which you will get for this pricing plan. For example, for free pricing plan, you will have only 1 GB of storage, and that's all. In case you choose shared pricing plan, you will also be able to attach your custom domain to your website, because in the free mode you are unable to attach a custom domain. But this pricing plan will cost you something. In case of basic pricing plan, you will obtain like a dedicated, for example, for B1, a dedicated 1 CPU core and almost 2 GB of RAM. They will be really dedicated for only your application, because in free and shared mode you will have shared computer sources. And also you are able to scale up to 3 instances here. In case of standard pricing plan, you will also have some amount of dedicated resources, but also in this pricing plan already included like daily backups, like 5 site slots, traffic manager, and some other stuff. You can go to Azure portal and read in more details what are each pricing plan about. Okay, so I will choose S1. Now, resource group. The resource group, it's basically like a tag for your resources, just for you to understand. For example, if you have several databases, several websites, several other services for your application, just to understand which database or which websites reflect which application. So let's say that I will choose resource group demo. Also, you need to choose a subscription. I choose this resource group, so that's why I'm unable to change my subscription, because this resource group force you to use only the single subscription. And also location. For example, Brazil South, but let's say something like, I don't know, Central US, for example. Or no, let's use North Europe. And we need to provide a name for our new pricing plan. Let's set a demo. It's okay. So we create a new pricing plan, Eboico demo, and we will create a new website on top of this pricing plan. I will hit create button, and now we need to wait a little bit until Azure provides us with all necessary resources. And for now, I will explain what is the difference between website and pricing plan in case of Azure websites. The main idea of pricing plans is to create like a web form. So you can say, I have one single pricing plan with one instance, for example, of server S1. It's a web form. And when we talk about web form, you are able to deploy as many sites as you want on this web form. Of course, they will share the compute resources of this web form. But basically, if you want to create a new site, or for example, if you want to create just like two sites, the first one, for example, I don't know, for your company website, and the second one for your company, I don't know, blog. And let's say that for now you are unable to realize the exact load of these websites, and you want to spend as less money as possible. In this case, you are able to create like a web form from single server and host two websites on this web form. I will go to Azure portal. I will go to pricing plan, and I will go to websites. So I described that we want to create a single web form using single standard S1 server, and we want to host two or even three websites on this server. We will pay only like 74 American dollars per month in case this web form will work for the whole month without any interruptions. So it's not related on how many websites you want to host on your Azure websites. It's related only on how many dedicated resources you use for managing all these websites load. Okay, I will return to my Azure Management Portal. I have my website already up and running. Let's click Browse button. And yeah, we see some test page and it says this website has been successfully created. Okay, cool. So we can see that our website is working now. Okay, let's go back to our management portal. For now, we have a lot of placeholders here, but they are mostly empty, just because for now we do not have any statistics like request statistics, error statistics, and all other stuff here. But what we have now, what can I demonstrate you? Let's go to settings and let's see what we have inside our settings. We have a lot of categories here. Let's go to application settings. So what we have inside our application settings, we can choose an exact version of .NET framework in case we are creating .NET site. We can choose an exact version of PHP. We can choose the exact version of Java, and when we say that we want to use Java, we also able to choose we want to run Java on top of Tomcat or on top of Jetty. Also the same for Python. Also, we can choose we want to use 32 bits or 64 bits platform. We can enable or disable WebSockets, and also we can switch or we can turn on an always on mode. What is the main idea of this always on mode? In case, for example, in case you have no requests for your web application for a long time, Microsoft can make a decision. I mean, not Microsoft, but even IIS, Microsoft Web Server, can make a decision that he can terminate this process which is serving your website. And of course, when the next request came to this website, Microsoft IIS Web Server will start creating a new virtual application, start creating new threads, new process for your website, and it can take like maybe 2 or 3 extra seconds for your application to up and run. So that's why I will recommend you to always turn always on and use it. Okay, let's scroll a little bit down here, and what we also have here, we have two sections. The first one is app settings, and the second one called connection strings. I already described that all Azure websites works on top of Microsoft IIS Web Server. When we talk about Microsoft IIS Web Server, you can configure all these servers using webconfig XML files. And these webconfig files have two sections. The first one also called app settings, and the second one is connection strings. And we are able to create a new values here. Let's say that in my connection strings, I want to create a new connection string with name database and some value as a value. What will happen when I deploy my website here? Azure websites will go through my web config, and in case Azure websites will found in connection strings section a key with name database, Azure websites will replace the value of this key with my some value. You can use it, for example, in like a daily scenario when you do not want to store your database, like production database connection string in your source control. In this case, you are able to store your production connection strings only on Azure portal, and only those persons who are able to access your Azure portal will be able to see these connection strings. And in source control, you can basically store like database, like a name of connection string, and value equals to, I don't know, TCP colon localhost slash mydb, so something like this. It's also very important stuff, and the same works for app settings. And also we have a very important stuff here. It's a checkbox called slot settings. What is the main idea of this slot settings? I already described you the idea of switching the side slots like production and staging. But let's say that we have one connection string for production and the second one for staging. The main idea previously was like when we switch these environments, they will also switch all settings. And previously, when we hit swap button to swap staging and production after successful redeploy, we will have on production a connection string for staging database. So it's really make no sense. So that's why now you are able to hit this checkbox and set, okay, now this setting is slot specific. So it's not important will I click swap button or not. In any case, I will have this setting only on this slot. So it also helps us to manage this scenario which I described about switching websites and not switching databases. Okay, I will discard all this stuff and close this blade. And now let's go and see what we have inside scale settings. It's also very interesting because for now I just want to demonstrate that here we have like the same picture as I show on my slide. We have this scale up and down rule from instance 1, like from one instance up to 2 instances, and we will use CPU percentage as a metric, and we will scale down when our load drops below 60% and scale up or on 80% or more. Let's say that I want to add a new metric. I will just hit this add metric at the top, add metric button at the top. And here, what I need to configure, I need to choose an exact metric. Let's say that I want to choose memory percentage. Memory percentage. Now I need to configure my rule. So first I need to configure scale up rule. and I will choose that my metric should be greater than, I don't know, let's say 75%. Over the past, let's say 10 minutes. And I will scale up for one instance, or I can say it even for, I will scale up for two instances. For two instances, it will not work in our current scenario just because if we have one instance and scale it through +2 or by +2, we will have three instances. But on this global configuration, we say that we want to scale only from 1 to 2. So let's say 1 and call down in minutes. I don't know, let's say that 15 minutes is okay. And then the same for scale down rules. So let's say that threshold is something like, I don't know, 50% over the past 20 minutes, scale down by single instance, and cool down 30 minutes, something like this. So when I configure all this value, I just need to hit the save button above, and that's all. Now I have like second rule for my scale up and scale down engine. Let's go through another tab and let's talk a little bit about deployment slots. So for now, as you can see, I have no deployment slots, but it's not a really kind of good illustration because I always have at least one deployment slot. It's called production. But let's say that we want to add a staging deployment slot. I click add slot at the top. I need to create a new name. Let's say staging. And also I'm able to create this slot with default configuration, or I can copy my settings from current production, like eboyco, demo, and blah blah blah. When I will add my staging deployment slot, and let's say that after staging I want to add maybe dev or QA or something like this. The only thing, when I decide to add a new deployment slot, I will have more options here. So, okay, let's say that we want to create a new staging slot. I will click OK. I just want to illustrate another very important point inside this staging slots. So we have this staging slot, and the main idea I want to illustrate is the staging slots behave like a new Azure website. So I'm able to configure all stuff like for regular deployment slot, but it will be like two different endpoints. So as you can see, the URL for my staging slot is eboyco demo blah 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 dash staging. So that is the only one difference. For now, I have like a default page on the production side and default page on staging side, but is a way they behave like two different websites. And on top here, I have this swap button. And when I click swap, I need to choose source and I need to choose destination. So I return back to Azure portal, and here I clicked on the swap button, and after that I am able to use source and destination and click OK just to replace staging with production and production with staging. I will close all this stuff. And the last thing I want to show you is backups. How you can work with your backups from the portal. The first thing you need to configure when you talk about backups is storage account. Why it's so important? Because basically all your backups is just zip files. Wait a second. I'm sorry, can you confirm that for now everyone are able to hear me? I see this message in chat, so we can hear you now. Okay, sorry. I will continue. So when we talk about Azure backups, first thing we need to do, we need to configure our storage account. Why? Because all backups, it's just zip files, and inside these zip files we will have database, file system, and all other stuff. So you need to choose a new storage account or use an existing one. Let's say that I want to use this account, and you need to choose a container. Container, it's basically a folder inside your account. Let's say transfer, and click OK. Now your backup destination is configured, and now you are able to create your backup and restore your site manually using these two buttons. And included databases, we have nothing here. If you want to include database in your backup, you need to configure this database inside connection string section, as I showed you previously. And also you are able to say that I want to use backup on some kind of scheduled basis, and you are able to provide a frequency in days. You are able to provide from which date you want to begin these backups, and also time for these backups. You can also provide a retention for your backups also in days, and also you can say that you want to keep always at least one backup of your website. And here inside all backups you will see your backup history, and you will be able to restore your backup anytime on top of existing website.